I am very lucky that I have a boss that understands my racing passion. Well,
Yeah.
I think the entire company knows my racing passion.
I
Um,
think the entire world does, dear.
that's absolutely accurate because I don't have a small voice. So anybody that knows me knows. But
She's tiny in
I'm
stature,
very
but big voice.
Cool. Welcome to the Gearheads and Gasoline podcast, where we dive into the high-octane world of market-leading shop owners, shop employees, and automotive enthusiasts from the aftermarket, restoration, performance, and racing industries. So strap in as we take you on an awesome journey with our guests as they share their real-life stories, lessons learned, business advice, and unfiltered insights to help you beat the school of hard knocks. Gearheads and Gasoline, fueling your success.
Absolutely. And I mean, it is a challenge when we look at like that longevity of how your business can expand and making that decision. Like, do I want to jump? Do I want to stay? There's a lot of security in having a full-time paycheck that you don't have to hustle for, right? Like outside of what your normal, job is. So it adds another level of stress to figure out like, yes, I have these opportunities now, right? But as we all know, racers will undyingly spend money on their cars before they will spend money on media, right? Because even though there
yes.
is a correlation between, hey, if I have the right media and I build the right sponsors and I have the right relationships, that I can get somebody to pay for my racing, they don't always put that correlation together because they're so focused on, I need a better 60-foot time. I need a better ET. I need a better mile per hour. I'm going to change my complete combination and go from a nitrous car to a turbo car or from a pro charger car to a blown injected car. Like there's all kinds of different reasons why racers make the decisions that they do. But on the flip side of it, from a content creation, and it definitely throws that monkey wrench in it to say, I don't necessarily know that jumping ship is the most smart thing to do, right? It might be exactly what we want to do,
That's right.
but it's very hard to walk away from something that is secure for something that we love doing, hoping that it will work out.
Yep.
Yeah, you definitely, when we started website development, I paused that and went and worked for a software company for almost 3 years in their marketing department. And then, I saved up a ton of money before I even shifted to doing this business full time. So where I said, you get to the point where it gets painful and you got to make a decision, but it's a time when, the decision's right. You got a lot of stuff lined up. And we talked earlier about other opportunities outside of racing. And when I say that, it's interesting because we just had, and especially if you team with someone like Annette for photography, there's a lot of people in the automotive aftermarket that can use drone photography and photography within their marketing. One of our customers, RJ Cars, Jordan just went down there this summer and did a combination thing, photography and drone stuff for him. And that's going to be on his website and he's going to use it in his marketing. So that's, and you can still work in the automotive space, right? So there's a lot of opportunity outside of the racing space, but to make a move, it's a big deal changing and going, I'm going to leave that, especially if you love it, right? If you hate it, it's a little easier, but.
Right. I will say, y'all bring up a good point because even just now, I've had a lot of companies reach out to me about doing partnerships, and I had to really come up with like a schedule of what races I was going to go to because I mean, if I'm only going to go to 4 races, why would anyone want to partner with me for the entire year? Well, I had to really think, okay, if I plan right now, I think I have 28 races on the calendar. Well, I did. I think I've gone to 2 so far, but I don't necessarily have the funding locked for all of those yet. And that's something I really had to think about. I mean, yes, I go to races because I enjoy going to them anyways. But in the years past, there's been some times that I'm like, well, funding's just not right. I can't make that race.
Mhm.
But now, I've built out this schedule and I've made a commitment to some of the companies that are partnering with me. So I've got to go to them now. And
Yeah.
I had to really sit down and plan that out and say, okay, if I commit to all of these races, even if I don't get the funding for all of them, I'm still going to have to go to them.
Right.
So am I willing to make that sacrifice to say that, yeah, I'll be at all of these? I've been very, very blessed that some companies have come on as annual partners. But we're only 2 races into the year, and I've still got a bunch more. So I'm definitely gonna hoping that some more opportunities come into play with some companies.
So I'm going to give you, I'm going to get, yeah, they will. They will. If you've
Yeah.
got the deals you got going now, they will. I have another book for you to read when you're on the plane going to races. It's this
Yes.
book right here, Profit First. Okay.
Ah.
Part of that is
It's a
setting
good book. It's definitely a
yeah,
good book.
it's a good business book, and you talk about funding and things like that. A lot of times, I didn't go to PRI this year because of funding, right? Because you
Same.
still have to pay
Same.
for airfare, and you have to pay for transportation, and you have to pay for a hotel room.
Yep.
With your business, that this book talks to you about how to manage that money, not just a income and an expense account. It has some other accounts like profit,
Yeah.
right? And that profit money can be used. It says to use it for fun stuff, but in your case, your business right now is it's a business, but it's not your core business. So you could take that
Right.
profit
That's
and
right.
use it for more better equipment or travel or things like that, right? And separate out the expenses for the hard costs that always happen, right? So
That's
taking
right.
that's one book I really recommend. That's another book I
Yeah.
wish I
Yeah,
read
I
10 years ago.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's
Um,
really where I'm at because you know, uh, just starting out, I have the one drone, but as I started to get more and more interest in people hiring me, I was like, yeah, I have one drone, and it does beautiful videos and beautiful pictures, but I probably could take it to the next level. And plus, as much as I'm flying, I need more batteries because drones don't last that long, especially in different weather elements. And so I've kind of had to use a lot of the funding or profit that I've made already to put back into the business.
mhm.
And so, yeah, that's definitely I'll have to read that one.
Yeah. Pick up that
Yeah,
book and who
it's a
not
good
how.
one.
And we all know, even with my amateur photography stuff that I do, equipment is expensive.
Oh my
And
gosh,
what
it's so
really
expensive.
it's a good thing, but it also sucks. Hey, here's the next. We just changed this to we added this feature, so you have to go buy more stuff.
Yep, that's the world we live in.
Oh
Yeah.
man, is it
It's
not?
the
It's
next Apple
expensive.
phone.
Yeah,
Yep.
right. Well, Barry, you had mentioned, like racing being seasonal, but it's seasonal for a select group of us, right? So it's definitely seasonal for me. It's definitely seasonal for you. But
Yeah.
in the realm of what Capri has really been tapping into, it isn't necessarily so seasonal for her because
That's
she
good.
does get to go to a lot of the events that are happening in Florida, and they are racing, right? They raced in January, they're racing this month. So they do have, events that fortunately do open up that schedule a bit for her, which also helps
In the
those
last five
companies that
years,
she's,
for sure. Yeah,
yeah,
you're right.
that she's
Yeah.
partnering with.
Um, yeah.
You,
That's
I did
cool.
want to ask I did want to ask a question real quick because you had mentioned, having your career with Axon and having, your drone business. Like, how are you balancing your career with doing the, drone pilot stuff? And I know that you're, sidelining your racing right now, but like that's the big thing. Like, because I know, right? Like, I juggle a regular full-time Monday through Friday career and then somehow have to find time to do my business as photography. So, and I don't get to go to nearly as many races as you do. So I'm super jealous and I love, love, love watching it for you. But I'm curious, like, how do you manage that?
You know, Probably if you had asked me this question 2 weeks ago, I would have had a much different answer. Um, as I said at the beginning, the past 2 weeks has probably been the most overwhelming that I have had to deal with in a lot of my years of racing. It's self-inflicted. It's
Mhm.
completely self-inflicted.
Mhm.
But you know, on the Axon side, my actual career, I cover Tennessee for my law enforcement agencies, and right now is when they're in budget talks. So this is when I really have to be traveling to Tennessee constantly.
Yeah.
You know, they're needing numbers for budgets. So right now is really one of my busier times for that career.
Yeah.
Well, then here I plan to go to US Street Nationals. I was there from Thursday to Sunday. I am very lucky that I have a boss that understands my racing passion. Well,
Yeah.
I think the entire company knows my racing passion.
I
Um,
think the entire world does too.
that's absolutely accurate because I don't have a small voice. So anybody that knows me knows. But
She's tiny in
you know, I'm
stature,
very
but big voice.
Cool.
but my boss has told me, you know, when she became my boss last year, she said a few months ago, she said, go ahead and start putting in your races for your time off request. Axon is wonderful in the fact that they give us unlimited PTO, but I mean it's a sales job. I have a quota to hit, so I do realize I can't just slack off all the time and take off. So I did put in, you know, a the great thing is I can work remotely for my
Yeah.
job. I do need to be in front of customers a lot, but like if I say travel down to a race on a Thursday, I can work remotely doing that. And then Friday, the past couple races, I've taken off that Friday.
Yeah.
Sick week, I ended up taking Wednesday to Friday off, and you know, I will say, getting to the end of this, I had to catch up on regular work. I had to
Mhm.
travel this week for work. And then I still, as I told y'all, have about a terabyte of video that I have to do. And I still have three people waiting on videos from me.
Yeah.
And last night I get home, and start, you know, I'm like, oh, good. I've got tonight. I can start working on this one person's video, and I'm really going to get somewhere with it. And then it hits me, oh my God, I have a territory plan review tomorrow morning with my boss and my director, and I haven't finished my territory plan. And I thought I was just going to fall out. So, to answer your question, Annette, juggling all of this, I haven't done so well the past 2 weeks. But I think for anybody else, you know, if I'm giving advice, it would be to try to block out the noise. Number one, I say that in my regular day to day work. Just block out the noise and really make checklists. So I
Mhm.
know at least the things I need to get done for work, and I know the things I need to get done for my videography. And then there are some things that I can do at the same time. Like while I'm
Mhm.
working, I have all of my videos for Sick Week uploading to the Google Drive that's going to Sick the magazine for them to utilize. So at least I'm kind of juggling it. But yeah, it's been a tough couple of weeks. So hopefully the people that have hired me are going to bear with me on this one.
They're
Well,
gonna
I,
bear
I'll
with
I
get
can
you.
say
better.
this. Thank you for joining us today because if I was you, I'd said, I'm out. I got too much stuff going on. So
I did
we
tell Annette, you know, I did tell her, but I was so thankful for this opportunity for y'all having me on. I was like, I can't pass this up. Like this is awesome. I told Annette when y'all first started this, I would love to be on the show. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's something grateful, you know, from my perspective. So no, I couldn't pass this up.
That's awesome. We
No,
really
you're
appreciate you
100%
working
right.
with us on this, especially because we had to change from yesterday to today too, and appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest struggle we have is aligning, getting coordinating with people. Everybody's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
busy, and I've met so. We talk about multiple jobs. I have met so many people that there's not many Americans right now, even at least in our space, that have one job. They always have some
Mhm.
side gig going on. You know, even I do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know Annette does with her photography. So, yeah, I wanted
Yeah.
to ask one other thing because we talked about running into trucks and wires and all that stuff. Was there any unexpected funny moments or things at the track that while you're filming that you can, just happen that were kind of funny and you can share with us or?
So I've got a couple. I've got one that's not track related. And it was a definitely a learning moment. For my emergency response team, I did check out a drone because we have a I guess inventory of drones. We're allowed to check them out so that we get more flight time and flight hours logged in our Axon Air system. So I checked out one of our thermal drones. Just so happened it was 3:30 in the morning, and somebody that probably does drugs rang my doorbell. And luckily, I have a Ring camera, and I knew who she was. And um, I live in a very, very small town. We have, I believe, 8 sworn officers. So they're a very low funded police department, but they know me very well. Not because I do anything
Not for
bad, but
bad
because
stuff.
they know I work for Axon, and they know I live out here by myself. And when I get scared, I call them.
All right.
So I'm friends with them. But it's 3:30 in the morning. Of course, I'm terrified, and I call the police department. They come. At this point, she's gone, and I tell them, I'm like, well, I know you guys don't have a drone, but hey, I've got my emergency response team drone. It's got thermal. Let's put it up and see if we can find her. Feel a lot better because the police department's standing there, and at least I'm doing something that I feel like is okay at 4 in the morning at this point. Well, we look for her over the 200 acres that's around me, don't see her, whatever. They end up, they're leaving. And one of the things you're never supposed to do is look at the drone.
Right.
I mean, yes, you want to make sure you're avoiding any things that you could potentially hit,
But you don't
but you
focus
really,
on the
as the
drone.
pilot, that's right. You should be focusing on your screen, what you're seeing on your screen as the pilot. So, they're leaving, and I'm like, all right, thanks, y'all. And waving, and I'm staring at the drone, and I hit it to come in to land on my porch. But instead of going in, it went backwards and it hit a tree limb.
Oh, jeez.
And it hit a tree limb and went, wah, bam. The only reason I know what it sounded like is because my Ring camera caught the entire situation.
Oh, jeez.
And me running and saying, oh my God, oh no. And so needless to say, I had to let the person who's over our emergency response team know, hey, I did crash the drone. Thankfully, it didn't hurt anything on it. However, everything that we do is recorded in our Axon Air drone sense program. So, like, realistically, if they went and looked at my flight, they would have seen I was at 15 feet altitude, and all of a sudden at 0 within the same second. What happened? So, of course, I'm like, I'm going to get kicked off the emergency response team.
Oh,
They're never going to let me check anything out. What if I get fired? Are they going to? I don't know what's going to happen. So I had to let her know.
A little
And
note for you, Barry, is that Capri is a little bit of an overthinker sometimes too.
a little dramatic.
Been
We
there,
called it
done
my
that.
emotional outburst. My emotional outburst. So I tell her, and I'm so embarrassed, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And she sends me over a message from one of our core team members that says, only the best drone pilots crash. And it made me feel so much better. And, I've been at races, and the children love to see a drone. They love it. In fact, I got a video the other day. A dad was holding up his baby, and the baby was probably, I don't know, I'm not real good with judging age, but I would say around a year, year and a half, something like that. And he kept trying to get his attention to the drone. And so I'm flying it down, and the baby sees it, busts out laughing, kind of like a peekaboo type of thing, but with
Yeah.
a drone. So, I have a lot of the parents say, oh, do you see the drone? And I always get asked, oh, what if you crash it? And I told the kids the other day, I said, only the best drone pilots crash.
Aww.
And so I used that, and it made me feel so much better. But that was
Well,
that
I
was a
can
good one.
definitely say that your statement makes me feel a whole lot better because I have,
You
so my
told me your
husband,
story.
yeah, my husband has a drone, and Barry doesn't know this, I don't think. And I had taken it for my work to go get some drone shots of a big, like one of our clients' big headquarters. Well, I really didn't pay as close of attention as I should have in my situational awareness to think of where a very large tree was that was on the outskirt of the property. But, like I was doing like, and I don't know what it's called, so you can help me out here, Capri, is that like where it fixates on a point and then it goes around that radius.
Yeah.
So I was doing that, but as it came around the back side of the radius, it literally lodged itself into an enormous tree that actually wasn't on our client's property. And so I had to call my husband and be like, I crashed your drone into a tree and I need you to
Did
come
you ever
here.
get it down?
Yes. As a matter of fact, like
Good.
he climbed up the tree, and I'm not talking like a couple of branches. I'm talking like super high up there. He knocked it out of the tree with like kind of like a broomstick, kind of, for lack of a better term. And you legit, just like you said that your ring caught, I heard it hit the ground. Thump, right?
Yeah.
But nothing on it was hurt. I was like,
Really?
oh,
That's
Wow.
great.
thank goodness. But yeah, I told Capri as soon as it happened, I was like, oh.
The Gearheads and Gasoline podcast is proudly sponsored by Redline Synthetic Oil. With a legacy of excellence and over 100 premium products, Redline provides motor oils, gear oils, assembly lubes, fuel additives, and water wetter for the automotive, racing, motorcycle, marine, and industrial markets. Known for their exceptional quality and technical expertise, Redline is trusted by enthusiasts and professionals alike. Discover their full range of products and expert support at redlineoil.com.
She sent me a picture and I was like, what am I looking at? And she said, that's a drone in the tree. And I was like, oh no, Annette. Oh no.
And you're like,
But listen,
I have to call
the
my
best
husband.
pilots crash.
So you say that, right? I do competitive shooting, and I just learned something today. So I do a lot of competitive pistol and rifle shooting and things like that. And I kind of pride myself on not getting DQ'd. Okay, getting DQ'd can be mostly it's safety stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's all safety stuff. And I remember talking to some guys and they go, we've all been DQ'd. So what that tells me is I'm not trying hard enough to better my game,
Right.
because I haven't been DQ'd since I've been 2013 been doing this. Right. And so,
Yeah, so see, it's like racing. If you haven't red lit, you aren't pushing the tree hard enough.
Right. Exactly. And that's the same way with business, right? If you haven't had a failure or two and specifically learn from them, you're not doing it right. I shouldn't say trying hard enough. I don't like to use that word trying, but you're pushing the envelope. You're trying different things. And, if you look at any entrepreneur out there, Musk, anybody, they can go back and say, I failed here. I failed here. I failed here. I failed here, but I learned from every single thing. Right.
100%.
So that's cool. I don't think I want to get a drone now and play, but I'm not going to do that.
I've had so many friends reach out to me and they're like, if I wanted to get started, which drone should I try? And I tell everybody, like the Mini 4 Pro or the Mini 3 Pro is a great one to learn on.
Yeah.
And that's the nice thing about drones. They do have a lot of sensors on them. There's a lot. People are surprised when, I'll be flying the drone, they'll be watching me, and then all of a sudden I'll just take my hands off of the actual joysticks and they're like, it's just hovering. It has enough technology and enough intelligence in it. Yeah, it is just going to hover. We sell a US made drone at work. It's the Skydio X10. And, it's more for enterprise level and law enforcement and whatnot. It has thermal, but it has multiple sensors around it. And it has AI built into it, which I tell her, I'm like, gosh, I want it so bad just for the fact of I've seen it do a 4D mapping, and and you basically put it on the track, you say what you want it to map, and it moves around on its own. It's taking over 200 pictures. Yeah. And when we did it, I'm watching the drone at these tree limbs that have no leaves on them. There's a fence that had barbed wire on it. We were at the police station, and I'm watching this drone come within inches of it, but stopping itself. And I'm like, wow, that's the one I need. But that one, That one might be a little out of my price range for a couple of
Just
years.
for
What do those
now.
run? I'm
For
just
now.
curious. What do those run about?
That one in specific is around 17,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it also comes with the fact of you have to have certain licenses for it to use it, and then there's different attachments you can put on it. Again, it's more of an enterprise level.
Yeah, makes
The
sense.
one I bought recently, it's called the DJI Mavic 3 Pro Cine. So
Yeah.
again, it's the cinematography
Cinematic. Yeah.
drone. It's a lot more for the videography piece. It has realistically one of the best cameras
Yeah.
of any of the drones that are out there. And that's also one of the things when I was looking at what I was going to invest in was, well, I want the best image.
Hmm.
And it was a pretty hefty price tag, and thankful to some of my annual sponsors, that's essentially what that money has gone to. But that one, with all of the additional batteries, which I highly recommend if anybody ever goes and buys a drone, do not buy the one that comes with one battery. It is
Right.
absolutely pointless. You're going to pay so much more when you have to
Yeah.
buy additional batteries because you're not going to get enough flight time. And if you're actually going to utilize this drone, you're going to need multiple batteries.
Yeah.
And so that one was, I believe it was around 5,000, and I got a plum case, a carrying case
Hmm.
that'll
Hmm.
protect everything. And so, it just really depends on what level you want to dive into it.
Hmm.
Because look, I bought the one that I bought, the Mini 4 Pro, which was around 1,500 or 1,600. I bought it realistically just to get some flight hours for the emergency response team
Hmm.
and to really feel more comfortable when I get deployed out in the field
Hmm.
to be able to fly. And now it's turned into something way bigger. So you never know. I'm
You
going
Oh,
to tell
never know.
everybody to pick it up, try it.
and that can tell you this with photography, right? You have your camera, but what costs the money is the glass.
Oh God, yeah.
That's
Different
right.
different things that make it what it is and allow you to do what you want to do actually is what adds money to it. And there's different glass
That's
too.
right.
Some glass
Yeah.
isn't one type of glass isn't the same as the other. And when I talk about glass, I'm talking about lenses. So
Mhm.
I
Yes.
don't make sure I clarify that for people going, what is he talking about? So anyways,
Well, very cool. Well,
I've
looking back
also
over.
started thinking about the other video I can get. Like I said, I can luckily partner with some of the other videographers that have gotten me some shots. But I've now even been, okay, let me get one of the DJI action cameras that's very similar to a GoPro so I can start getting some in-car shots and
Oh
integrating it
yeah.
into some of my stuff. That just gives me a whole other level of, capturing the different things that people aren't necessarily getting to capture. So
so you need to
it's
Well,
get
never
I
one of
mean,
ending,
it's
as
those.
y'all know.
it's the right kind of B-roll, right? Like you were talking about getting B-roll from Nick.
That's right.
I've worked with Nick for years. He's absolutely an incredible guy. Love him to death. And
Yes.
he spoke on our panel at SEMA with us. So he's just this, really very well diverse guy who really knows the videography industry. But, just like you said, like working with him to get B-roll, looking at other ways that you can influence how you're servicing your clients by giving them those different perspectives and things that you can create into that storyline for them, right? Helping them to tell their stories.
Capturing
So,
those moments.
What I was going to say is we went to SEMA for your marketing. Think about how you're going to market yourself, and you can't really. You can, I suppose, bring your drone down in front of you and talk to your drone. But Annette showed up at the SEMA show with this really cool camera that and mics and everything that you can use to do reels and stuff to promote your business, right?
Yeah.
I was really jealous because I looked at buying one before SEMA, but then again, I was in the mode where I didn't have the expenses, so I was totally jealous.
yeah,
And I haven't bought one yet, and that, but it's a DJI. I can't remember what the name of it is. Um,
it's an
it,
Osmo 3,
Maybe.
Osmo Pocket 3.
Osmo 3,
Okay.
right? Yeah,
I
that's
use
pretty
it
cool. So think,
legitimately. I use it every single week. Like since I've purchased it, I literally use it every single week. One of the best purchases I've
Those
made aside
things are
from the camera.
awesome.
Yeah.
yeah, I
And
need
it's
to
just
get
so
one.
easy and to carry, and it's compact and it doesn't really require it's super quick to charge. So I super love that. It just makes it's my introductory into like learning more about doing the video stuff. and more so just getting content so that I can really work more on the editing side of stuff.
Well, we talk about that. I have two gimbals here I bought to put my phone on, and they're both paperweights because they're a pain in the butt to use. I could never really get them to work right. And then I saw that, and I saw Annette use it. Jason at AMD recorded our whole session with one.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Today's podcast is sponsored by Motorhead Digital. Motorhead Digital are digital marketing experts for your automotive aftermarket, restoration, performance, race, and restyling shop. They help you supercharge your shop's website, social media, and entire online presence to attract those badass customers you're looking for. Check us out at motorheaddigital.com.
Very
I
cool.
might have to look into it too.
Yeah.
I've shied away from them but yeah.
It's cool for you to, the only thing is like, I find myself, it may not be as difficult for you. It actually has an attachment that you can put on a vest or a backpack, strap or whatever, so that you could get footage while you were walking around the pits too. So I do like that element of it. It comes with like a little stand, so you could stand it up on stuff and get like in pit shots and whatnot. So that's the things I do like about it. But so yeah, like if you need any information, just let me know. I'm happy.
I've been using the drone to do some things like that. So I know some people see me at the races. I'm holding my drone and adjusting the camera itself. Literally, and I mean, if you go back and look at the video I did for Marty Stinnett, literally the video of his car, like in the pits as he's backing out, I'm literally just holding the drone because the camera's incredible. I mean, you can't ask for a better camera on something that can fly in the air. Right. But at the same time, he has the canopy over, or there's things, again, there's safeguards on the drone. So sometimes I can't fly right there. And then I do want to get those different shots. So yeah, it's been funny.
Very cool. Well, looking back at your journey and over our whole discussion, and we've learned so much about, what you're doing in the drone and videography industry and where you want to go with that and how you want to take it to new heights. And we super love what you're doing to keep impacting the motorsports industry. As you know, I'm really, really big advocate on continuing to grow this industry. I want to know what you would tell somebody else, what advice you might give them if they wanted to turn their passion into a business.
Well, first is don't doubt yourself and just do it. Like there's really not much else to say about it. But I think probably the biggest advice I can give is partner up with people that are already doing what it is that you are passionate about or what you want to do, because I think that's why I've been successful, is making the connections that I've made. Like Annette, I mean, I think about how much you've helped me and, being able to be on this show. And that's because of the connection that we made at a race, 2 years ago now? Right, And I think just showing up and being a friendly person. I mean, nobody wants to help out somebody that is a know-it-all or a not open person, but be open to learning. I don't care what it is. I'm constantly learning something new, even in the drone. Like I said, flying alongside some of the live stream guys, I learned so much. But just meeting somebody, ask questions, and just do it. It's, you're never going to get anywhere if you don't just do it.
Yeah. 100%. One thing I found out with this business and even with my competitive shooting, is hang out with people that you enjoy hanging out with, but are also been in it for a long time, and learn from them, right? Watch what they're doing, ask questions. Don't be scared to ask questions. Even if you think it's a dumb question, ask the question, because they've all been there.
Right. Yeah. And the truth is just, it's not a cliche when they say you are the sum of the 5 people that you hang around the most. Right. Yep, exactly. So surround yourself with people who are greater in success in you, who have greater aspirations than you do, who also align with you, who are kind, good people, right? And then you'll watch yourself propel. With that being said, we're kind of winding down in this incredible episode, and we are so grateful for you spending some time with us. But I want to ask, I I know a lot about you as a person, as a racer, as a business person, what you are passionate about. But what is some things or something that you want people to know about you?
Like you said, I mean, you know a lot. I think the biggest thing that everybody learns pretty quickly is I have a huge passion for motorsports and racing. My family wasn't into racing. I always get asked, well, what was your dad racing and all of that? And I look at the families and some of the women or the younger generation that is coming up into racing, you know, their family is involved in it. And I'm very envious of them. I would never say jealous. I love to see it. I wish that my family had been into racing because I think I would have maybe had it a little bit easier. But you know, I do. I love it. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter what aspect it is. If I can be there as the racer, of course. I mean, of course, I'm not a really good spectator, but I've figured out a way to spectate and still enjoy it a lot with doing this videography. But yeah, I mean, that's probably the biggest thing. I love all of my racing family.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful for everybody that I've met in the 20 years that I've done it. Heck, almost everybody in my life is somebody that's involved in racing.
Right.
And oh, and
Same.
also, fun fact, I have 9 dogs and 12 ducks.
Yes.
And that's always one of those fun facts.
She's working on a
Nine.
I
small
used to do
farm.
animal
It's fine.
rescue. Yeah.
That's so cool. I love it. And you know, I'm a dog person too, so I absolutely love seeing all your videos of your pups and your cute little ducks and all that good stuff. So thank you so much for continuing to share your life, and thanks for spending some time with us on the
Of
show.
course. Thank y'all for having me. This was awesome.
Absolutely. Barry, do you want to run through our speed round or would you like me to do it?
You're the speed round expert. Go for it.
All right. Fantastic. So we always end the show with a quick, fun, whatever comes to the top of your mind response. I'm going to ask you a series of questions and you just tell me whatever comes first. Don't put too much thought into it. So, first question is,
Okay.
what is your favorite driver, team, hot rod, muscle car, or truck?
I would have to say right now is probably Mark Mickey's Pro Mod.
I agree. 100%. I agree. Well, this does apply to you just in a little bit different. Think content creation from this perspective. What's your favorite tool in your toolbox?
It's definitely my new drone, without a doubt.
I would say the same. Yeah. Do you have a favorite racetrack, event, or car show?
Favorite racetrack? I would have to say currently Bradenton's probably one of my top favorites. But Emerald Coast Dragway, that is sadly closed now, will always hold a place in my heart. It's where I started racing when I was 16 years old. And unfortunately, it is closed down now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's
Cool.
awesome. Yeah, I'd have to say like my favorite track, and I've been fortunate and blessed to go to many over the last several years, is unfortunately it is also closed. But
Bandimere.
yeah, I was just gonna say that like that track is just so beautiful, and it was just
It
such an
was.
epic experience. So 100%, I love when we can, attribute some experiences to not just a place, but the people that have been there. So, and then last question. This is always the one that stumps everybody, so be prepared. But what is the best
Okay.
advice you've ever received and from whom?
Ooh, dang, that does put me on the spot. All right. Best advice I received and who it's from. Ooh. Are we talking about in motorsports?
It can be
In
whatever
life in
applies
general.
to your life. Yep.
And I'm going to start playing. What is that?
The Jeopardy song.
Oh, man. Oh, I would probably say kind of what I alluded to earlier. You're never the expert in everything,
Mhm.
and to be an open book to anything.
Mhm.
And and know that you can learn more no matter what it is you're doing. Yeah. And that was actually from my stepdad, who is one of the greatest people on the face of the earth and has helped me become a very successful business person.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
Awesome.
Yay.
Cool.
Well, very cool. As I said earlier, thank you so much for being here. We super, super love that you spent some time with us. Barry, if you want to carry us out.
Yeah. Hey, thanks everybody for watching. Capri, thank you so much for joining us today. Can you let people know how to get a hold of you, how to contact you, where to find you online, how to hire you for drones if that's what they want to do?
Absolutely. So I do have a Facebook page that I am trying to get more up and running, and it is Adrenaline Aerial Media. And it does have my neat new logo. And I also have my personal Facebook page and my racing page, Capri Wesley Racing, or just Capri Wesley. I keep up with quite a few of them. Or Instagram, kind of same thing, Capri Wesley Racing, or even on TikTok. But I'm going to follow through with your recommendation, Barry, and I am going to work on making a website so it's a little bit easier.
Yes, you need that for sure.
Love it. Love it. Very cool. Super fun. Well, this is your next episode of Gearheads and Gasoline, fueling your success. We know you don't want to miss an episode, so don't forget to smash that bell so that you get notified of every new episode. Click that like button, leave us a comment, and share with your people. And visit us repeatedly. We love it.